All right, you know that feeling, right? You're staring at a textbook, your eyes are moving across the page, but literally nothing is sticking. What if I told you the problem isn't you, it's your approach? We're going to completely reframe this. Forget being a student. Today, we're turning you into an investigator. And your study material, that's the case you need to crack.
So, this whole idea comes from a quote by Dr. Sujendra Prakash, and it's our central clue. Honestly, it is a total game changer. It's this idea that you shouldn't just be a student, you need to be a detective. And your textbook? Yeah, that's your crime scene.
Think about it. Most of us, when we study, we're like tourists. You know? We kind of glance at the pages, we might highlight a few things, but we don't really see what's going on. A detective, though, they're completely different. They're looking for what's hidden between the lines. They see the stuff everyone else just walks right past. And that is the big shift we're talking about today, going from a passive tourist to an active investigator.
Okay, so what does that actually look like? A detective's mindset. Well, think about this. When a detective shows up at a crime scene, the bad guy isn't just standing there with a big sign that says, "I did it," right? Of course not. They have to dig. They have to work for it. They're looking for tiny little clues, not perfectly packaged, ready-made answers. And that's exactly the mindset we need to bring to our studies.
And really, a detective's method, it's the perfect blueprint for deep learning. You're observing what's missing, you're studying what's hidden, you're connecting all these scattered ideas from, say, Chapter 1 and Chapter 5, and ultimately, you're uncovering meaning in places that just look like a wall of text before. It's the exact same process.
All right, so let's put this into action. We're now officially treating our textbook as the crime scene. And listen, it is packed with information, but it is not just going to give up its secrets. No way. You've got to interrogate it.
I mean, your textbook is never going to flash a big sign at you that says, "Hey, pay attention, this page is important."
It's definitely not going to give you a little cheat sheet that says, "Shh, this paragraph is going to be on the exam."
And it for sure isn't going to spell out, okay, these are the exact concepts you have to master. Nope. Just like a real crime scene, all the clues are there, but they're silent. It's your job as a detective to figure out what they mean.
So this all boils down to one essential question. Seriously, this is the master key. Every single time you read, you have to be asking yourself, what is this telling me? And maybe even more importantly, what is it not telling me? That's where the real learning happens.
Okay, so we've got the mindset down. Awesome. Now let's get practical. What's in an investigator's toolkit? What are the actual tools and questions you need to start building your case?
This whole process probably looks pretty familiar, right? It's basically the scientific method, but it's also exactly what a detective does. You start off knowing almost nothing. Then you start collecting these tiny little clues, the relevant ideas from what you're reading. Then you connect the dots between concepts, and slowly, piece by piece, you build up your evidence, your knowledge, until, bam, you reach a real solid conclusion, a genuine understanding.
So to make this super practical, here are 5 detective-style questions you should basically have on a sticky note next to you at all times. Ask them constantly. My personal favorite, and I really mean this, is the one that asks, what evidence do I actually have that I understand this? Because that question, it forces you to prove it to yourself long before you ever have to prove it to a professor on an exam.
All right, I want to talk about a secret weapon now, and it's one that almost everybody overlooks: patience. Seriously. We've all been trained by movies to expect these huge, dramatic breakthroughs, these aha moments, right? But real detective work and real learning, it's almost never like that. Yeah, in the movies, detectives are jumping off buildings and getting into car chases. But in reality, a huge part of the job is just sitting in a car for hours, waiting, observing, and thinking. It's about patiently gathering information, silently. And honestly, that's what a lot of really effective studying feels like.
So it's not about speed reading or cramming everything in the night before. It's the complete opposite. It's about being deliberate. It's slow. It's systematic. It's about sitting with one idea, just turning it over and over in your mind, and letting those connections form naturally. It's quiet, patient, thoughtful work.
And this brings up such a powerful metaphor. Depending on other people for notes or explanations or shortcuts, it's like depending on a total stranger to guide you through a dark forest. I mean, maybe they'll help you, or maybe they'll get you completely and utterly lost. A real detective doesn't just follow someone else's map. They build their own.
Okay, so let's tie this all together. You've done the investigation, you've gathered all the clues, and you've built your case. So, what's the end game here? Well, it all comes down to the final exam. That's your day in court.
So just think about it for a second. When you see a question on an exam, what is it really asking you for?
Evidence. That's it. Plain and simple. Every single question on that test is just asking for one thing: evidence that you did the work and you actually understand the subject.
So your exam answer isn't just an answer. It's the evidence you're presenting to the jury. And think about it. A weak, rambling answer, that's weak evidence. But a clear, concise, well-supported answer, that's strong evidence. And strong evidence is what earns the high marks, every time.
And here's the real secret. This isn't about working harder. It's about working smarter. It's about understanding the rules of the game. Once you start seeing your studying as a process of gathering evidence, everything just clicks into place. Suddenly recalling facts, connecting ideas, even just concentrating, it all starts to feel natural, almost effortless.
So here it is, your final mission. This is the detective's code for studying. You're not just memorizing, you're building. You're searching for meaning, looking for clues, finding connections, asking questions, gathering evidence, and building real understanding. Every single chapter, every lecture, it's just a new case waiting to be solved.
So I'll leave you with this one last thought. That textbook sitting on your desk right now, it's not just a boring collection of pages. It's a crime scene, and it is full of hidden clues, just waiting for a detective, like you, to come along and crack the case. So, what are you waiting for? Go find them.